All right, getting you ready for Game 4 in Los Angeles tonight. Big one, huge one for the Golden State Warriors, who cannot afford to go down 3-1 in this series. This is a huge Game 4 for all involved. And to get all involved, I'm very happy to bring in Chris Manning, who is if you are all over NBA2K, you know Chris. If you're a Lakers fan, you know Chris. The Martin Scorsese, the Steven Spielberg of Laker hype videos, a huge card-carrying fan of the Lakers. He's worked with them, around them, tangentially, adjacently, all of his last decade plus. And he is, of course, all over your NBA 2K everything. Being a 2K alumni myself, it is very good to see you, Chris. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Damon Bruce Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I know I'm going to get booed for this one, but, bring on all the boos. I get it. I know we're at war right now in the playoffs, but Damon, you're a good one. Thanks for thinking of me.
Thank you so very, very much. I tell you what, let's just jump right in, because I think your story's fascinating, and I want to talk about what you're doing at 2K and all the other stuff that you live a very, very interesting life. But just in the specifics of this series, and I'm not finger pointing at poor officiating, but I am finger pointing at what has been a massive free throw disparity through two games, which the Warriors basically had almost no shot. Well, they had a shot in game one with that. Jordan Poole was shooting to tie it.
Yep.
With that huge free throw disparity, well, everything that could go wrong, the free throw disparity, the sloppy play, the turnovers, the self-inflicted wounds were on full display in game number 3. So where do you stand just in terms of feel of this series so far, why it's played out this way through 3 games?
I don't think as a fan I've been this nervous about a Lakers playoff series, obviously since the Celtics in 2010, but a non-finals matchup, I would say probably the 2002 Kings is the last time that I could feel that level of nervousness, just because the Warriors are dangerous, right? So the clashing play styles of, if the Warriors are going to come out and hit 23s, their deficiencies on the defensive end, and they're very turnover prone. They've shown that during the last few years, last couple seasons. I think that's why a lot of people wrote them off last year, Damon, is because they're turnover prone. Poole had a great postseason. He's struggling a little bit this year. But, as far as free throws go, I saw this coming because once the trade deadline happened and the Lakers literally hopped out of their grave that they were in and started having a play-in situation every game for 2 straight months to even get into the playoffs, they were getting to the line. It just felt like what Rob Pelinka was able to do at the trade deadline and get the perfect mix of players to play around, not only LeBron James, but Anthony Davis as well. It just is all coming together. And this is a team that's been, together for like 3 months, a little over 3 months. So we're still trying to figure things out, but the trends of they attack the rim, they're disciplined on defense, one of the best defensive ratings, mixed with the trends of the Warriors, a little turnover prone. They shoot a lot of threes. When the Warriors get the Lakers to match their play style, it's going to work out for the Warriors, because Lakers are going to miss more threes than the Warriors. Pretty safe to say. And those long rebounds, Warriors are going to get out on the fast break and just get more threes jacked up. And when they do that, no one beats them. That's why they're the defending champions. I mean, Steph and Clay I've never watched a series where every time they touch the ball, Clay could be shooting poorly, Steph could miss his last 3. As soon as a shot goes up, I'm like, this is going in every single time. It's very nerve-wracking because of how amazing at shooting and getting around screens and the off-ball movement and the way that the motion offense is. It's just, it's something to watch. And the series takeaway for me is just Lakers got to hone in defensively, and Anthony Davis has been quite the anchor on the inside. So we're going to have to see how game 4 plays out, because that even odd Anthony Davis, the numbers are there. I don't buy into it as much as other people do, but the numbers definitely support it, that every other game he's going to be great and then he's going to be good. But what he's doing defensively, I can't remember a series where one player affected so much, defended so much when shots were inside the paint as much as Anthony Davis has done, both in the Memphis series and now. He's been incredible. So it's a toss-up, man. The Warriors going to shoot 23s tonight. Lakers don't have a good chance if they do, but they also haven't shot historically well in crypto. So it's just every game is going to be its own story, I feel like, at this point.
I don't know if it's the lighting in the building. I don't know what the deal is, but there's something about that building that gets the Warriors off of their three-point rhythm. Yeah. I'll tell you another thing that I think has gotten the Warriors off the three-point rhythm is Darvin Ham, who, is kind of going through all of this. against a coach like Steve Kerr, who has been through this, as many times as a player, a coach can possibly go through high-level basketball. What Darvin Ham has chosen to do at the three-point line, instead of running the Warriors backwards towards the half court, he's running them towards Anthony Davis. He's got every single guard defending a shooter, like top-locking them, and the only place for anyone to go is to the paint. This is where I think this free throw discrepancy is bothering some Warriors fans legitimately, because, look, they are in many ways a jump shooting team who is bad at getting to the free throw line, but they are going to the rim in this series. And if they weren't, Anthony Davis wouldn't be averaging nearly 4 blocks a game. I think Darvin Ham has really done a great job slowing down the Warriors' offensive rhythm, and the Warriors need to now take themselves back into Game 2's game plan and just run pick and roll to death tonight. And they need to suck Anthony Davis out to the three-point line, baiting him out there. And if they don't, this is 3-1 LA.
I think so too. And I think I will say for Game 3, like, I know a lot of Laker fans were excited to win that. I'm more nervous about Game 4. As soon as that buzzer ended, I was like, well, now Game 4 is going to even be harder. And I thought the Warriors made they kind of lost their poise in the second quarter. Completely. Very uncharacteristic of a championship level team. They made a lot of mistakes. They handed the Lakers about 8 or 9 free throws in that second quarter.
You know who it's funny.
Yeah.
They are the Golden State Warriors who look like defending champs at home. You take them on the road, they're the Orlando Magic, Chris. I mean,
it's weird this year. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Even Kerr said for all the wisdom and the tutelage under Phil Jackson, he doesn't have an answer for it. It's very bizarre, but it's still, I don't count them out. They play better when their backs are against the wall. I mean, they've proven that time and time again. This is a dangerous team, even with their deficiencies. And that's why I say Lakers they have to continue being disciplined on the 3-point line and executing the game plan, because if the Warriors get out and they get on any kind of run, no lead is safe against the Warriors. I mean, it's insane. So yeah, it's wild to think about that for sure.
Who did more to set back the Lakers' first half of the season? LeBron insisting that Russell Westbrook be on this team, or Pelinka just not doing everything else around? I guess he was kind of handcuffed by the Russell Westbrook, just cap-eaten salary that he had. I think Pelinka's just done a ridiculously good job here at the deadline. There's no one you could even argue did a better job. Who's been the bigger surprise to you, though? Rui Hachimura showing up and playing like this, or Jared Vanderbilt just turning into a power forward who can guard impossible to guard point guards and shooting guards?
I think Vanderbilt, a lot of fans, if you look at Rui's numbers with the Washington Wizards when they made the playoffs, I think it was 2021, very similar numbers. He's obviously playing a bigger role, and the spotlight's on him now. He's always been a player. I thought that if he gets under the right kind of coaching, or gets a player coach to work with him, it's going to really take his game to the next level. And Phil Handy's been doing that. So it's been great to see Rui. But I'll tell you what, Vando and his defense, the way he's chasing down Steph Curry. I mean, one thing's for sure, you're not going to stop Steph. You're not going to stop players like Clay, but you can make it hard for them. In Game 2,
they're causing traffic. I mean, there's so much traffic for him to run through.
Yeah, Vando, I think, is a huge piece to this defense, because you can put him anywhere, really. He's undersized against, some 4s and 5s, but you can put him anywhere on the court, and he will defend and disrupt and create chaos defensively, much like the Warriors create chaos offensively. So when you have that kind of energy coming out, it's going to be hard to then deal with Anthony Davis. And everybody's talking about LeBron's low scoring numbers and this and that. I would say his ability to be a two-way player in this series specifically, there's been a couple plays last game where he turned on the Jets. He knew the time to turn on the Jets and go and get the stops. I think it was when Clay got the steal. Then he came back and prevented Clay from scoring. He knows when
he's got those 6-minute bursts in him.
Those 6-minute bursts. Yeah. He's, you can tell his foot's a little hurt. He's not typical LeBron, but I mean, honestly, one thing that I don't think Laker fans saw coming was we would be excelling in the playoffs with LeBron as primarily an off-ball player. And, I remember the clip of Draymond. He went on his podcast after Game 3 and was saying, Steph is like, I can't figure LeBron out. I mean, you know what I mean? What is the game plan here? And it's just the Lakers have a team. Call it luck, call it a stroke of genius by Rob Pelinka, but they've been able to construct a team that truly plays perfectly around LeBron. And D'Angelo Russell, another one, right? Just multiple ball handlers with him and Reeves. That takes a lot of stress off LeBron. And then, you also have to deal with AD, even if he's not having a 30-20 night, which I don't expect him to have every night. Like the media seems to think he can do every single night. He's a dominant force on the inside and also a problem offensively too. So yeah, it's just, I think the bigger surprise is Vando for sure. I knew he was a great defender, but man, he's taken his game to another level.
Chris Manning of NBA2K fame, and I'll tell you, that game is so ingrained in the basketball world and culture.
It's amazing.
I still get people emailing me about a game that I haven't been in for over a decade now. I mean, I did halftime reports a long time ago, and I still get it brought up to me.
It's awesome.
There you are, like just appearing as soon as the game gets loaded because you host the NBA2K Live, and I'm guessing that this has just been one of the coolest elements of your career that has ever been dropped into your lap. It has taken your profile from a guy who's known amongst Laker fans to a guy who's known around the basketball world. How cool is that?
It's very cool, and I'm fortunate to be in the position. And I've always loved 2K. I've always loved basketball. So for me, it's almost like a perfect mixture of perfect.
Right. They can throw you out of the game tomorrow. You're playing next year.
Yeah, exactly. And with 2K TV, we really try to focus on what we all love about the game, which is what the passion is, right? So because I'm a passionate person, and that's the passion runs in my DNA with everything I've ever done, working or celebrating sports and basketball specifically, I just try to reach out to other people who are passionate and include them in the show. And when I came, my motto was, the show's not about me. It's about the community. It's about 2K fans and people around basketball that love 2K, that share that love or passion for 2K. And it's been really, it's remarkable to meet so many people through this and to give them a platform via this 2K TV platform to be able to tell their stories and share their passion about the game and basketball. And it's been really a great experience for me to just get that satisfaction of being able to not only host the show and talk to people and learn their stories, but also produce it and be able to give players that opportunity. Because like you said, it's NBA2K is ingrained in basketball culture, and I sometimes have to pinch myself. I'm very blessed to be where I'm at and very humbled and honored.
It's opened so many doors for you. It's allowed you access to players that, otherwise you would not have had access to, even with the media, because there's no way they're going to open up to just media quite like they do to a friendly entity that is part of a game that they go home and play when their actual games are over.
Absolutely.
Is there a great white whale? Is there a target that for all these years you still haven't been able to land that you hope will eventually come around to sit down with you?
That's a great question. For me, no, because my brain thinks I think with 2K, what a lot of people don't understand is, working around the NBA, there's levels of approvals and there's a lot of layers to everything that people in the media or around the NBA world have to go through.
Nothing's easy
because we're all in this together to promote the beautiful game of basketball. So yeah, nothing's easy. So with that being said, as soon as one thing gets nixed or we can't make this happen on this time frame, it's like my brain is already on to the next 3 things we can do. Okay, we can't do that, but we can do this, this, and this. And that's kind of where the creative process of being a producer on the show is honestly better than just being the host. To me, it's more satisfying being able to produce a show and be able to get the next guest and get the next segment and work with partners and work with players and work with people that play 2K or musicians that want to be in the game or whatever it may be, whatever it is around basketball culture. So some of my favorite interviews are being on Reddit and learning about teachers that use the NBA2K player badges to teach curriculum. And then you reach out. Oh, and then that person was able to come on the show, and he also went. He teaches at the same school that Anthony Davis went to. Very so it's cool. Just it's so crazy sometimes to just be able to give these people a platform. To me, that's the most fun part. But if I were to say there's one person I want to talk to, I have them. I'd rather not name them, but it's always just I love to share who's passionate about the game because that's what I relate to. And I think that's what players relate to. As you mentioned, I know Jason Tatum's another player that comes home, plays rec with his like high school friends and stuff. And I love stories like that. It takes him out of the NBA line of questioning, and they can kind of settle down, because it's like we're all here to love 2K. They're not getting grilled about how they shot, or sometimes they care about the ratings, but it's
sometimes
we're not
all the times, all the times,
all the times. Yeah, all the times. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite game mode?
Good question. I like rec. I like building my player, and then I have groups of friends that I play with that we've been playing 2K since like 2013 together.
How tall are you for real in real life, and how tall are you in the game?
6'3" in real life, and I've never met a shot I didn't like in real life. When I played basketball, I was a shooter. That's all I could do, But in the game, I used to create two guards that were like 6'5", 6'6", Kobe size. I like to score, so I was a big scorer. But lately, I've been running point guard. I play with the Team 2K TV squad, as I like to call them, and we go out and play the community. We have a segment on the show called 2K TV versus the world. Take a lot of L's there, so that hurts me as a competitor. But I like playing point guard and competing against the best, and it's always fun to watch people's reaction when they see that it's me out there, because I have my face scan in the game, the 2K logo, so they know, oh, this is LD. We got to bring our A game. So unfortunately for me, it's like going up against the prime KD level Warriors every single game that we step onto the court, where I'm like, oh man, here we go. You got to be ready at all times. But I love that. I love the level of competitiveness.
In your entire life, have you ever seen a cooler career arc? And I'm going back to like 15 years ago, when he was running around as almost a technical production director, to who he's become now. Ronnie 2K's life. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this guy? Who's got a better life than him thanks to a video game?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I had the opportunity to work with him for 7 years on the marketing side really closely. So we did everything hand in hand, as you know. Yeah. It's just the brand's just grown to a global level, and another
like
point.
Armani billboards in Times Square now.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but like his what he's able to bring to the brand is really cool. And we work with so many talented people across the board, both on the marketing side and especially our development side, which I work on the development side now with visual concepts. Just super passionate people that are so talented at what they do. Sometimes I feel like I'm the misfit. It's like, oh man, I don't belong here, because I don't, when you start talking to like developers and engineers and coders and like the stuff that they're working on,
it's a language that's way over your head.
Yeah, it's insane. So I just, again, feel blessed to be able to represent the brand through 2K TV and to continue my career here, because I've been with the company since 2K11. So 2011, I took a little break in between 2K18 and then came back during 2K19. So I've worked on every title since 2K11. So yeah, we're 2K23 is out now, and we're approaching 2K24, so that makes me feel really old, Damon. I'm not gonna lie.
People are like, how come you're not in the game anymore? I'm like, well, I got replaced by Ernie Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal, and that's I would hire them too, to be totally honest with you. So no hard feelings. I still play and love the game dearly. It is, I think, the best sports simulation ever. It really is. It's incredible at capturing the actual game of NBA basketball. What is the most amount of man hours, Chris, you ever put into one of your Laker hype videos, and how long did your wife yell at you that night to stop it, come to dinner?
So, my wife's super supportive. When the Lakers won the 2010, I met my wife in 2011, but when the Lakers won the 2010 title, this girl I was dating at the time, I didn't know she was a Boston Celtics fan. So she came to this watch party, and she was rooting for the Celtics and being pretty loud. And
this isn't going to work out.
I might or might not have broken up with her after we won the title, because I was like, nope, not dating a Celtics fan. But my wife's a big Lakers fan. She's super supportive. I think I definitely have like tendencies where maybe it's a little ADHD, to be completely honest, undiagnosed ADHD. But when I sit down with a concept, I will sit at a computer and not leave until it's done. Like, I almost edit videos in my head before I even sit down to technically edit them. I start thinking of concepts and stuff. And originally I wanted to be a journalist, in high school. And in 1999, I came up with the pen name Lakers Dynasty 2000, because we got Phil, and I'm like, hey, they had a dynasty in Chicago. Why not? So here I am, the 12, 13-year-old kid coming up with LD2K, and, it's kind of stuck with me. But once I got into the video making, just creating fan, videos, like what can give people the chills. It honestly came, quick little tangent story. It came from, I was able to be fortunate enough to be with my dad in 2000 Western Conference Finals, Game 7 against the Portland Trailblazers. And Lakers were down 15 in the fourth quarter. And I got to see one of the most historic games ever played in that arena, with the Lakers charging back. And of course, the iconic Kobe to Shaq lob. And the energy that I felt in that moment, I said, man, if I could bottle up a nanosecond of that and just put that back out into the world, I would love to do something like that. And I think I found that through videos. I just really like, those hype videos and creating something that'll give you chills. And, it's just been a passion of mine, and it's something I never made money on or never monetized. It's just all been for my love of the game and being a Lakers fan. And that's, again, that passion for the Lakers has led me to very cool moments in my career, which I'm forever grateful for. I never take a day for granted. And it's pretty cool to still operate on that same passion engine.
People who are smarter than you and I will ever be have said, take something you like and turn it into your vocation. You'll be as successful as you can possibly be in life. I believe you have done that, Chris Manning. I believe you have absolutely taken a passion of yours. You've made it a profession. You're very good at what you do.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure to have you in here today. This was long overdue. I have known you tangentially, either through the game or following each other on Twitter for years now. This conversation was long overdue. I'm glad we can make it happen ahead of Game 4. It should be a wild one tonight, and all I can tell you is if the Warriors win tonight, you better look out.
I'm nervous.
Game 5 back at Chase. That feels like 3-2 Warriors, so just look out.
Being up 2-1 is nothing to be excited about, Lakers
Here comes
fans.
Scott Foster to even things up.
The extender. I didn't say that. Cut that.
Chris, you are a hell of a guy. You're great at what you do. Thanks so much for joining me here today. It was great talking to Chris Manning here on the Damon Bruce Show. What a pleasure to have him on. It was great having you. Everyone enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully this got you ready. It was good to have you around today. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, sports don't build character. They reveal it.